Well, welcome to another edition of MovieStrange. I just need to say something. I'm a little late because I took a 15-minute shower with no soap, no shampoo, and I just kept rubbing just the water all over my body. I don't know why I did that, but welcome, everybody. This is my friends Uncle Al and Drew. Welcome, guys.
Hi, Ralph.
We had a good one.
Well, not very clean.
Very clean. We had a good one. Let me remind everybody what the 4 words were from last week that I was given to pick. Okay? These were the 4 words. Cleavage, Now, I got to ask you something, Uncle Al. This looks like the same movie now that I'm reading these words. Was this one movie I was going to pick, or were there actually 2?
This was the movie that you were going to pick. Regardless.
This was designed for me to pick.
Yes.
You are a bastard. Okay. So these were the 4 words, and I picked because I'm very predictable. I picked this one: cleavage, cougars, rituals, showering. Uncle Al, again, remind everybody the famous movie that I picked, please.
You picked a wonderful film called 1313 Cougar Cult, directed by David Dakota.
Unfortunately, I did.
It stars Linnea Quigley, Michelle Bauer, and Brink Stevens, who were scream queens in the 80s.
Okay,
You'd never know it from this film.
Let's set it up with the trailer, because we got to get this out of the way. Because, by the way, this is the only visuals we're going to see from this film in this podcast. Okay, I am not showing any more from this. I am sorry. I've got enough.
In the 1980s, 3 women changed the face and body of horror movies. Now, after 25 years, these 3 queens of Scream reunite in their sexiest collaboration yet.
Wealthy single women seeking young, agile men for a full-time live-in maintenance and personal masseuse position.
Man, I don't know about this. Looks like some swanky digs.
Hello. What brings you to my door?
It's a pleasure to meet all 3 of you.
We're all kind of looking for summer jobs.
And we're hiring.
What's going on here?
What is going on?
I just saw the sisters turn into cougars.
You have lost it, my friend.
Oh my God.
Linnea Quigley, Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer. The original Scream Queens are back in cult filmmaker David Dakota's 1313 Cougar Cult. These cougars eat their cubs. Coming soon from Rapid Heart Pictures.
All right, now wait before you get started, okay? Because you need to. I know there's a bunch of these films, and you can explain all you want to explain. I know when I asked for B&B, okay, I kept insisting on boobs and bush, okay. And what you gave me was B&B. You gave me bare-chested men and briefs, okay? And I think you did that on purpose. I think I maybe talked too much about it. And I apologize for that. But anyway, but okay.
Hey, I delivered.
I thought I was punked. I thought you were punking me, you bastard. So anyway, why don't you?
Did.
Yes, he did. Why don't you explain? Okay, so don't read the back of the box. Just give me a quick synopsis of this film, and then the history of the guy who directed it, because he's got an interesting history. There's no question. Some of the 80s stuff that he did. He worked with Roger Corman. He actually worked with James Cameron while James Cameron was working for Corman. But explain what's going on with this film and this filmmaker.
Okay, so there's a very thin plot, but I guess you could. What I would say the plot is there's a coven of 3 witches in a Hollywood mansion or Malibu mansion, Edwina, Clara, and Victoria, and they recruit these 3 young studs to come take care of their mansion during their summer break from school,
and to take care of them.
Yeah, exactly. But unbeknownst to the guys, they really are there to eat them and sacrifice them to their Amazonian goddess Calabast. But what this movie really is, it's sleazy exploitation trash, is what it is.
It was made for women. according to your fame.
And,
Who's the director?
I would say gay men as well.
Well, yeah, obviously, but okay. Explain who the director is, please.
So his name is David Dakota. He has a giant filmography. I mean, he's cranked out tons of movies for at least probably close to 40 years now.
Yeah.
But he's, like you mentioned, he started out working for Corman as a PA, and then he really, I watched an interview with him, and he really learned his chops doing gay porn and filming gay porn.
I'll say, yes, he did.
And then he started getting in with Charles Band, who's famous for Empire and Full Moon Pictures, and David Dakota did Creepazoids, and one of your favorites.
I'm going to bring it up. Yep, go ahead.
Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball Bolorama.
I can't believe when I saw that credit that he had anything to do with that one. I mean, he definitely a homosexual, right? Doing B exploitation films in the 80s with women, right? I mean, it was all women. Those three women were in.
That would be the 80s version of that, yeah.
Yeah, and then he flipped and decided to start doing this stuff. Now, isn't there a whole series of these 1313?
Well, really, my first experience.
Do you own them all? Let me just ask you. Do you own this one?
I own the entire library.
Oh my god!
No, I don't.
Wow.
But my first experience, like, I hadn't really seen his 80s output, but like when I was a freshman in college, Britt and I decided to rent a sexy vampire film. Okay. And it was the first movie in his Brotherhood series, and we were watching it, and we were like, "What the hell is this? This is a bunch of guys walking around in their, their white briefs for like 45 minutes, and there's like no blood in it. There's no actual vampirism. It's just young dudes walking
just like
around
this film. There was no blood in this film. Just young dudes in white briefs. I mean, that first shower scene goes on for 15 minutes.
It should take a long time. He doesn't use any soap. He doesn't wash his hair. He doesn't wash his legs.
He's not even wet when he gets out of the shower. It's amazing.
Right. I mean, if he hadn't heard something in the hallway, he'd probably still be in there because he was clearly taking his time.
Oh, my God. Now, yeah. All right. So he went from... Now, I saw the behind the scenes in this thing, and it looks like a low rent. I mean,
this was a 2-day shoot max.
Yeah, I'll say. And he uses that shot. There's a shot of the three of them with their hands up in that weird color they do. They use it like 40 minutes of the whole. They repeat it how many times? Yeah.
Dude, he uses the guy showering, rubbing himself 4 times in the first 3 minutes of the movie. Like they're clearly.
I didn't even know that was the thing.
It's a real budget stretcher, I guess.
Yeah. I might have been averting my eyes a little bit. And believe me, I'm not a homophobe. I don't care. But this is just... and you must have been. You knew. Oh, you're such a bastard, too.
To me, like, this is sexploitation. This is like contemporary sexploitation. This is his version of what they were doing in the the mid 60s, the late 70s, where they were doing all this like softcore stuff before the New York had gotten into like hardcore pornography. This is like the light stuff, the sexy
There's no
stuff.
core in this. There's nothing. Those girls didn't even take their... They're wearing their bathing suits the whole time, and you never saw them take anything.
I mean, they're about this is the flip. This is the flip. Like the mid 60s, like sexploitation stuff, that was all about showing the female form, whereas this is like more of a contemporary sexploitations where you can actually sell like softcore male nudity. I mean, he doesn't. You don't see their genitalia or anything. It's just very like torso based.
Well, it's very playgirlish, with the ripped abs and all that stuff. It's like, going to the strip club.
I got the impression that this director kind of created the market, or created these films for a market that only he saw early, because it's a homoerotic, allegedly horror. We'll talk about that later, but it's a sex movie for women and for gay men. And if you think about all those sexploitation movies, those movies were made for straight men. And this guy, David Dakota, if that's how you pronounce his name, I'm not sure. He saw something and he said, there's a lot of people that would watch this kind of movie. And it turns out he could make them for $1.50, and he could make 100 of them. And then he's had a whole career. So it's impressive. All these movies are more impressive from a marketing standpoint than anything else. I mean, this is a guy that sold movies based on a title, a log line, and a poster. And there's nothing wrong with that business, but you sell it all around the world. He what?
He learned from the master. I mean, Charles
Oh,
Band
yeah.
is infamous for just creating the poster, and then you make the movie after you see the poster.
Well, didn't that
Yeah,
article
I mean,
say?
he's
Oh,
from,
go ahead.
from that world. He's
Yeah.
from that world of Roger Corman and
Right.
Charles Band, like you said. Charles Band, not, in case people don't know, Charles Band and Empire Films is, I guess, Reanimator is the most famous.
Yeah,
that's an
of
actual
their
yeah. And
movies.
once you get the Full Moon, it's definitely the Puppet Master series, which David
Right.
Dakota did several entries of.
Right.
Well, he said he created this for women too. That he thought women would look at this the way men look at exploitation films about women. And I disagree. And actually, I read a review from a female critic who said he expects us to look at these writhing guys on the beds as if it's men looking at women. We would watch women writhing on a bed. There's no doubt about it, right? Sexy women. I don't think they look at this the way we would look at this. That we would look at a writhing woman on a bed. There's no question he made this for men.
Well, I'll tell you, I watched this movie with my wife last night, and we had a similar reaction to it, which was that it was more of an entertainment than an erotic adventure. So you may be onto something, but it's I mean it what's funny is these movies that we watched a behind the scenes clip of this movie, and it looks like the movie.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really
shot
does.
it with the same cameras
It really does.
and all that kind of stuff, and that house apparently has been in a number of these movies. I don't know if it's in all the 1313 movies, but it's been in a number of movies, including he did apparently a kids movie called The Talking Cat with a lot of exclamation points and question marks.
I
It's
wanted
also
to
shot in the
definitely
same house, which is confusing to people apparently. Although I just learned before we went on the air, I got some sad news that mansion has been demolished.
Yeah, I heard it.
So I was planning on a post-COVID field trip to some of the locations of some of these movies that we've been looking at, and unfortunately, that one has lost to cinematic
It's gone.
history.
It's gone.
Sad.
It's a little sad because
Wait, you know, this movie, you know how I was talking about the whole sexploitation genre. There's one movie that this reminded me of from, I think, '66. It's called The Red Roses of Passion, directed by Joe Sarno. And it's really just about this woman who falls into this cult who worship the god Pan. And really, most of the movie is shows them just rubbing roses all over their bodies while they wear like see-through negligees. So it's like it has that feeling to it. Like it's definitely he's making a cheap exploitation film to make money and fill a niche that maybe didn't exist just to make money. You know, he's working his way through his career to just be a director.
Well, it's also exciting to see that, like, this is the same as how The Hidden Fortress by Akira Kurosawa influenced George Lucas's Star Wars. See the connection across history, across
wow, you guys are
literally
good.
across the world. It's
you
just,
guys are good. I just
it's really
can't. I can't believe that we'll talk about this film as if it's a real film. Okay, number one. Okay, I just can't believe we're going to do this. I appreciate it, but you punked me with this one. It's not fair that you only had one film for those 2 words. By the way, you broke the rules. Okay, I got to figure out a punishment. I may have you come. I may have you come clean my. You have to come clean my pool.
Can I
let's talk about that. Let's talk about that because. I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of the kid that was assigned
Howie,
the job of pool boy.
Cooper.
No,
Cooper.
it was Rufus. Or no,
that was
no,
Rufus.
Cooper.
I think it was
Cooper.
So
Smith.
that was, to me, that was one of the most moving parts of the whole story.
Moving, like
Because
emotional.
Let me explain.
Please
I'll try
do.
not to get worked up again, but it was very moving. He was described by his friends as a poor choice to be the pool boy because, quote, he's never been around a swimming pool in his whole life.
Because he's from
And I thought,
Idaho.
well, that's silly.
He was from Idaho,
I thought
that
that's
kid.
silly.
Right.
Well, but the thing is, I thought that's silly. But then in the very next scene, first of all, he doesn't know how to use the pool skimmer at all. He's just pushing the stuff around. And then he's hosing himself off next to the swimming pool as if he just doesn't know if you're hot, you get in the water. You don't have to bring the water to you. And it was just really... I don't know, like I just, my heart went, he was the poor kid hosing himself off for 15 minutes.
15 long. Wow, they kept cutting to her looking at him, the main cougar there, the head cougar.
Linnea Quigley.
What's her name?
Linnea Quigley.
No, okay, her. Yeah. And then the poor kid that had to do the massage comes in. He kept his shirt
thought that
on.
was very touching. He was very supportive to his hunky stud brother
Right.
giving him a back massage.
That.
Yeah, I was like, look, they really are friends. They're not just hunky nerds looking for work. They're in this together, which is good because there's such danger ahead.
It was so much danger.
You want them to be able to know they'll rub each other for each other. It's beautiful.
He gave away that, like, that first kid that they chase for 10 minutes. First, he takes a 15-minute shower. That's why this movie went on forever. So he had that 15-minute shower. Then he hears cougar noise, like real cougar noise, of course, because they're cougars. And they chase him around, and then they do that thing where they superimpose the 3 cougar emojis on them. The emoji.
Wait, hold on, wait, excuse me. First, their eyes turn into cat eyes that glow green.
Well, that's
and then they turn into, if they
Right.
get
If you look
excited
at
enough, then they turn into a superimposed still image of a cougar.
Right.
Like, maybe plastic masks would have been better because, as you know, I like practical effects.
Yeah.
But it was it was not, I think, it was not scary, but I'm not sure that was the priority of the filmmaker as well. So
I want to know how Ralph feels about the tracking on those, the motion tracking on.
Well, no, because it got stuck. It ended up over here, it's over there. I just like the guy running. You could tell he was running, and the floor must have been cold because he was running like, ooh, it's cold. I mean, I know he just got out of a 20-minute shower, but the way he's running through there.
Ralph, there was no running in this movie.
No,
everyone walked deliberately, whether they were in formation or they were sleepwalking, or their friend was mincing behind them, as if, oh my God, there's a wall, I have to look out, and he was really careful and stuff.
Well, that first kid, like I said,
no one was in a hurry.
No, I use the word running because he wasn't really walking; he was running away from them, but he wasn't running fast. I mean, he was, he was gingerly running through the place. Like I said, the floor looked super cold or something. I don't know, but he was only wearing
a little dirty.
He was only wearing.
The floor looked a little dirty.
Well, can you imagine what went on at that house? I mean, come on.
We don't have to. We saw
so
the behind the scenes.
Al, how many of these films do you own? Tell me the truth, please.
I own this one.
Why would you buy this one?
Just to torture you.
You bought this just to torture. You're a liar. You had this in your collection. What?
I love
it. You are a rat bastard. That's not fair. I'm serious. I was sitting there going, I know I have to watch this whole movie. That's part of the deal. But I just can't. And frankly, it's boring. 20-minute guy on the hose, it gets boring. It's like, okay, just do something. I don't care. I mean, I'm not like, I don't worry about that stuff.
Look, here's the thing. If we're gonna get serious, the movie has no narrative at all. And there's no real story. So even the stuff that could be, it's not going to be scary, but even the stuff that could be funny or there's no story. There's no anything.
There is a story. There's a magical amulet. There's an Amazonian goddess. And there's
but you only know that because they repeat that over and over in several scenes, and then they dump glitter and they dump allegedly oil, but it looked like water. I'll be honest with you. And there's no real story. Like I was expecting some level of, we know we're in trouble from these witches and we have to fight them or survive them or something, and like they just didn't really have anything happen because they had to keep taking a break to rub themselves, and none of them knew how to use soap, and like it was all just. I was disappointed because an exploitation movie doesn't have to be formless. It doesn't have to be boring. Like, I like nudity, that's fun, but nothing happened in the movie, and so it wasn't pitched. The nudity wasn't pitched to me as a straight man to be distracted enough by that to not mind it.
Well, the words
and I think
did
if
say,
you watch this kind of movie, you know what you're getting into. I'm not saying that, but
the word cleavage was in this thing. Okay, now
and it's in the movie.
Yeah, you count some of that as cleavage, but okay.
Listen, the worst thing
he didn't say nipples. He didn't say nipples. He said cleavage.
The worst thing that
this is my fault. We're blaming me for this. Is that that's what I'm hearing right now? This is my fault.
I don't think there's any blame at all. It's a wonderful choice for our episode.
Okay.
The one thing that really bothered me about this movie is when they're doing the glitter on the guys, and then she tells Michelle Bauer to go get the oil, but then they actually have to she goes to get the oil. They actually show her going to get the oil multiple times to pad the runtime. Like, can't we? If they've already done this ritual many times, Michelle Bauer should know to already have the oil in her hands.
How
Yeah,
many
but what's
times?
cool is you only have to shoot it one time. You can shoot them walking in a circle, which, as we know from the behind the scenes, that was very challenging because they had to do it with their eyes closed, and they had to coordinate, and the director had to count it out for them so nobody got hurt. Like, this was serious stuff. You can only probably do one take of that, and then you have to use it 5 times in the movie.
Well, they're older.
So,
They probably get super dizzy doing that too.
I want them to be safe. I'm not saying that.
I understand. Now they were scream queens in the 80s, right? So we're talking. This movie came out in what, 2005?
I thought
No,
it was
2012.
2012.
2012.
Oh, I thought it was earlier than that. So they must be in their 60s, right? These ladies.
Because it feels timeless.
I would say.
Yeah. Were they really scream queens? Were they good actors back in the day?
Listen, Linnea Quigley is, I would say, she's the most famous for this film, which is Return of the Living Dead.
She's the blonde. She's the main, the head one.
Her name is.
No,
in that
they were
movie.
they were in all those movies. Yeah.
But I'm asking a question. Were they good actors back then?
I mean,
Were they the same? They were the same.
I mean, they had no material in this movie to work with.
Well, she did have to answer the door and say, "Come on in." I mean, that doesn't seem that hard. I mean, I think I might be able to pull that one off. And she could barely pull off talking to the guy at the door.
You should watch like
Nope.
Sorority Babes at the Slime Ball Bowl.
I'll watch that. I'll watch.
They're all in that. And
I have to revisit that one.
And
I have
this
that
one.
on. Yeah.
Linnea Quigley plays Trash, and she does a fully nude dance on top of a gravestone.
Okay.
I remember.
It's like a very famous sequence in that film. So like,
yes, it is.
Okay, so she's famous.
Yes.
Now, did you? I mean, I can't believe you bought this for me. You didn't. You don't have this in your line. You had this in your collection, didn't you?
I bought this for you, Ralph.
Wow, that's.
I paid $4.99.
You definitely you definitely threw me a curveball. I got to be honest. You played that one well. Well played, sir. Well played. Because
let me. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just I hated the film. I'm just gonna say it. It was stupid.
What?
I thought the behind the scenes. You're right. The behind the scenes stuff was way more interesting. To watch that guy, one take, he's like Clint Eastwood. One take, all right, down the hall. Who cares? The camera's all over the place.
And he's the director and the director of photography. He shoots and he directs. Like that's like Steven Soderbergh level kind of
It's
stuff.
unbelievable.
He probably edits it as well. Like it's all very exciting. Here's the thing, I had never heard of this film either. So when it came up last week, because it was 1313 Cougar Cult, I was like, oh wow, there's a colon in the title, so there must be a bunch of them, which there are. But then I found out why it's called 1313, which I thought was going to be because that's the address it was shot at or something. But no, it's so that it will show up early in the list of choices for video on demand. And I was like, this is what we just watched was technically a movie.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah,
people paid the only way it was a movie.
Yeah. I forgot about the scene where the guy gives him the back rub.
Oh God, that was one of the more human moments.
He goes, I like
that his friend was going to be in over his head,
right?
And so I'll help.
Well,
you.
that kid ended up being
really
here.
Well, that kid ended up being here, but that kid that he gave the back rub help to, then ended up not paying it forward to his friend that we discussed earlier, the pool boy, and left him, I would say, out to dry, but I guess he took care of that himself with the hose. But it was terrible and boring. And it was only like 70 minutes.
Is that all that was? Oh my God. It felt like it was forever.
You mean, Drew, you didn't like the cheesy 50s cartoon alien music that they were doing that was like heavily theremin or what? I don't even.
I remember.
It wasn't like horror music. It was just like cartoon music.
Yeah, I remember in the first few minutes of the movie, before the shower even, I thought, wow, the soundtrack is doing a lot of work here to make this more exciting. And it wasn't working, but they tried sort of everything except actually what you would think of as what you need to do to make a movie or tell a story. So it was not what I expected. I honestly, I'm with Ralph. Like I kind of thought it would be at least fun, and it isn't really that.
Yeah, you
fun.
You mentioned the horror
because they do have the real deal of these movies, and they'll do anything with them.
Yeah. The lack of horror was horrible. There was no horror. I mean, there was the amulet thing that put out the glow when she stuck it on people's heads.
I mean, again, this is cheap. This is like a cash grab. This is like, let's make a film for $3K and make, $100K from it.
Oh, it was that much? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Hey, Drew, you're stuttering a little bit. You might be part of still that Northeast. There you go. Now you're back.
Yeah, right.
Isn't that funny? I mentioned that, and there you come. The
you
Northeast
gotta
cable
call it
cut.
out.
Yeah, we had a Northeast cable cut today. All of the whole
mystery.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Do we need to talk any more about this? Anything else, Al, you want to bring up about this so-called film? I don't trust you anymore. I don't know how I'm gonna. I have to get these things certified. I can't let that happen again. That was horrible.
I mean, this is a bad film. I wouldn't recommend this to anyone unless you literally just want to watch guys rub their abs for like.
I do not. I think that's the point.
70-minute runtime.
No, it's not for you. Okay, the movie's not for you, and that's okay.
So why even? Yeah, I got it. Thank you. It's not for me. Next time I know.
Okay.
Anytime I see 1313,
I go, that's not for me.
I mean,
okay, I brought this for two reasons. One was to screw with you, Ralph. And
did a good
the
job.
One is, I just wanted to highlight that something like this exists. Like this is a genre. This is apparently now a genre of film.
What is the genre called?
I don't know. The twink genre. I don't know.
So this film's designed for gay men?
I guess
like mainstream films designed. Is this? I mean,
I would call it no core, because I mean, there's not even any sex in it or anything. Never mind, nudity, genitalia, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
No, there was nothing.
I think it's just to like titillate people. Whoever whoever finds this tittillating, that's what the.
It's disturbing. I'm not again. The only disturbing
it's not for me. It's not for you.
Right.
It's
So
okay.
here's what, like I said earlier, what was disturbing about it is it was boring. Right.
Right.
It was just how many times can that hose go over the guy repeatedly over and over and over, and she's just looking through the window.
It was hot.
It was quite. It was quite hot there.
Yeah.
All right. I don't want to talk about this anymore. Can we move on?
Can we cut back to the poster for a minute? So the guy in the middle, that wasn't even a main character. So I don't know why. I guess
he's one of the. Was he the guy from the? No, he's the guy that came in at the end, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's the one that came in at the end. And the guy to his right, who is that guy? Is he even in the movie?
Yeah,
that's the guy who massaged his friend.
No, the guy on the right is the guy that got the back rub from the blonde guy on the left.
Is that the same guy?
I think so.
I guess I honestly only see ads.
The guy on the right is the guy with the glasses, and then the guy on the left is Rufus.
Yeah, he's the he's the kid that got the back rub. And I love that they had to put cougars in the shot, so we know that it's about cougars. I mean, it's not bad enough that those ladies with the yellow eyes
and the roaring.
I guess for me, I just wish if he was getting them back together as the Scream Queens. I really wish he would have done more with them, like really celebrate them. Yeah, really celebrate them as the Scream Queens. But like it seems like a cheap cash in.
And to be fair,
their notoriety.
To be fair, it didn't look like they could move very well. Like Drew was saying,
50 years old.
Well, like Drew was saying, that when they're doing that circle, he had to count them out, and they were kept their eyes closed, and things were getting a little bit, people falling backwards a little bit.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah, a lot going on.
A lot.
All right, enough. Okay, thank you. That was a good punk shot. I literally started watching. I go, he punked me. I can't believe he pulled that off. And then as I looked at the words tonight, I go, holy cow, those are the same. It's the same movie. He had one film. He didn't have two. Bastard. Now it's time for 2 movies, 4 words, brought by Uncle Al and Drew. All right, here we go. I hope you guys better not do another one. Supermodels, superheroes dropping babies. Nympho, communist, hijacking, voluptuous. I'm going to go with... I'm not going to take my time. I'm going with supermodels, superheroes, dropping babies.
Man, poor choice, Ralph.
Oh, is that you?
No, that's me.
Oh, thank God.
That's me.
I need to clear this.
So this is a movie. I think this was the 4th movie in the 1313 series. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that to you. This is a movie called The Heroic Trio. It's a movie from 1993, Hong Kong. And it is about 3 supermodel superheroes fighting the resurrection of an ancient emperor who has to eat babies to survive. And there's a lot of baby endangerment in it. And this is a brand new release.
Gotta go there. Back up. There you go. Now you're focused. Ooh.
It's got Maggie Chung, Anita Mui, and Michelle Yeoh. So people who have gone on to big careers. And it's Johnny To, who's directed a whole bunch of wild, crazy movies. And it's just It's a lot of fun. I have the real original version because this is one of those movies. Harvey Weinstein and Miramax brought a lot of movies over from Asia and chopped them up and dubbed them and all this other. And this is good. And there's also a sequel, which is also as ridiculous. We don't have to watch that one for next week, but I'll talk about it next week. So next week, the Heroic Trio, nowhere near the 1313.
Oh, I'm looking forward to this. That sounds great. And what was I just going to ask? The Heroic Trio. I forget what I was going to ask. Keep talking. Then we can wrap this thing up. My brain is just I can't get. I'm all messed up. I know what I was going to ask. Is it subtitled?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, there you can watch a dubbed version, but honestly, just personally, I hate dubbing. It takes me out of it.
Yeah, I don't.
So it is in Cantonese or Mandarin soundtracks. I prefer because I believe it's the original way is Cantonese soundtrack with English subtitles, and then we're good to go. Because there's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in the movie, and I don't want to be distracted by some terrible accent.
Weird voice. Yeah, no, I can't wait to see. This will be a good palate cleanser after that last one. So nice job.
I think you'll both enjoy it. I don't know if you've seen it, Uncle Al, but it is a good time.
Why did you say poor choice, Al? Did you have another one that you were going to throw at me?
I actually had a good one for you, Ralph, but you didn't.
Like you said that the last time.
I had one to make up for this one, but maybe it'll circulate again.
It'll circulate back. All right. How many wins are we in? So no, we're not. We flip flop, so we don't have to. No booby prizes. No consolation. We're good.
That booby prize was that landmine he set off in your movie watching experience this week.
Oh, that's what that was. But it was officially supposed to be 2 films, so he. Whatever, he did a good job. You punked it. I called him this afternoon. I said, "You're a bastard. I can't believe you did that." But so anyway, all right. Good one.
Well, let me ask you one final
one thing we forgot to mention. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and whatever else happens, the notification button. Right? We like to get some views on these things. Maybe.
Ralph, if I said you have to watch one of these movies again, would you prefer to watch 1313, Cougar Cult, or Tenet? See, it's hard, right?